Signing a highly lucrative employment contract to lead your company's new Oslo division and immediately dedicating 80 demanding hours a week to aggressively scale the business feels like the ultimate demonstration of your elite executive commitment, until a sudden government audit classifies your grueling work ethic as a severe criminal violation of local labor laws, instantly hitting your foreign parent company with a catastrophic lawsuit for millions of kroner in retroactive back pay. Welcome to Norway Perspectives. I am Erik Christensen from the NLS Norway Relocation Group, and today we are exposing the devastating executive overtime trap governed by the fiercely strict Norwegian Working Environment Act, known locally as Arbeidsmiljøloven, and why importing a standard global hustle culture into the Nordics without legally bulletproof contract structuring will completely paralyze your corporate expansion. For highly successful corporate directors, vice presidents and senior engineers arriving from intense, fast-paced commercial hubs, the concept of being a salaried exempt employee is universally accepted. You are paid a massive executive base salary, and in exchange, the company fundamentally owns your time. If a global project requires you to work late into the night, send emails on weekends and completely ignore standard office hours, you do it without ever expecting a single penny of extra compensation. You naturally assume this standard international corporate culture seamlessly transfers to your new corner office in Norway. Norway operates under a drastically different, heavily regulated and aggressively enforced labor framework that considers excessive working hours to be a severe psychosocial hazard. The massive corporate trap triggers violently because the Norwegian Labour Inspection Authority, known in Norwegian as Arbeidstilsynet, outright rejects the international concept of salaried exempt. Under strict Norwegian law, the absolute legal default is that every single employee, regardless of how massive their base salary is, operates on a standard 37.5-hour work week, and any time worked beyond that absolute limit must be compensated with a strict legally mandated overtime premium of at least 40%, known as overtidstillegg. The devastating reality hits foreign human resource departments when they attempt to bypass this law by casually writing a specific exemption clause into the executive's contract. Norwegian law does allow for exemptions, but only if the employee holds a genuine Ledende Stilling, a leading position, or a Særlig uavhengig stilling, a particularly independent position. International HR directors routinely slap this exact terminology onto the contracts of senior managers, software developers, and regional directors simply because they earn a high income, falsely believing the problem is solved. This is a catastrophic legal miscalculation. Arbeidstilsynet completely ignores the prestigious title on your business card and the size of your paycheck. They aggressively audit your actual daily working reality. To legally qualify as a particularly independent position in Norway, you must possess the absolute, unquestionable authority to dictate what you do, how you do it, and exactly when you do it. If you are a high-paid regional director, but you are still heavily micromanaged by the global headquarters in London, if you are strictly required to attend mandatory weekly pipeline meetings at specific times, or if your daily key performance indicators are rigidly dictated by a foreign board of directors, you are legally not independent. You are simply a highly paid subordinate. When a disgruntled employee or a powerful local labor union inevitably flags this massive misclassification, the legal cascade is absolutely devastating. Arbeidstilsynet will completely invalidate the executive exemption clause and forcefully reclassify the employee as standard labor. Because the international parent company was completely unaware, they were legally required to meticulously track the executive's daily hours. They will be hit with a catastrophic demand for retroactive overtime pay. If an executive has been working 60-hour weeks for 3 years under the false assumption that they were salaried exempt, the Norwegian courts will legally force the foreign employer to pay out thousands of hours of standard pay plus the mandatory 40% penalty premium, resulting in an unbudgeted cash drain of millions of kroner per employee. Furthermore, systemic breaches of Norwegian overtime limits are not just a civil financial dispute. They are aggressively prosecuted. If the Norwegian Labour Inspection Authority discovers that your corporate headquarters intentionally ignored Arbeidsmiljøloven to force aggressive production timelines, they can levy massive, highly public corporate fines and even pursue direct criminal liability against the managing directors. Your international brand reputation in the Nordic market will be instantly destroyed. Navigating this hyper-rigid intersection of international executive compensation and strict Nordic labor compliance requires absolute strategic dominance and flawless contract engineering long before you ever issue an employment offer. At NLS Norway Relocation Group, we ensure your global corporate expansion is never sabotaged by a hidden labor classification trap. We handle your entire human resource transition through our highly exclusive, trusted network of elite Norwegian employment attorneys, corporate compliance experts, and international tax strategists. We rigorously audit your global employment contracts, expertly restructure your executive compensation packages to secure legally bulletproof Ledende Stilling classifications where truly applicable, and implement flawless local compliance protocols that shield your foreign parent company from devastating retroactive lawsuits and crippling government fines. Do not let a misunderstood overtime regulation trigger a catastrophic corporate audit that destroys your international mandate. Protect your global payroll and ensure your corporate transition into the Nordics is an absolute legal triumph by visiting our website at nlsnorwayrelocation.no, nlsnorwayrelocation.no, to book a comprehensive strategy session today and I will see you in the next episode.